is Ina. I'm a project coordinator in Louth Local Development Company. Part of my work is developing and funding programmes of learning here in the Red Door with Louise and the supervisory team, all of which is to assist recovery and personal progression. Louth Local Development Company are committed to assisting all the service users here in the Red Door on their recovery journey and are proud to be part of the special recovery community. The personal stories told in this podcast, in this recovery month, speaks for themselves.
My name is Joanne O'Dwyer and I am one of the supervisors of the day programme in the Red Door project in Drogheda. I'm here today to explain to you what Recovery Month is and to introduce 4 lived experiences of individuals from the Red Door whose podcast you're going to hear over the coming month. Recovery Month is a celebration of individuals who have found recovery from addiction or mental health disorder. There are millions of people worldwide whose lives have been transformed through recovery. Since these successes often go unnoticed, Recovery Month, which is every September, provides an opportunity for everyone to celebrate these accomplishments, to increase awareness and to further a greater understanding of mental and addiction disorders. Nationally in Ireland, thousands of people have found inspiration to face their challenges and learn about new ways to live a happy and fulfilling life. Over the course of the month, addiction treatment facilities and programmes will celebrate the accomplishments of those successfully completing treatment and beginning a fulfilling life of recovery. Recovery programmes all over the country will raise awareness about addiction treatment and share the positive stories of transformed lives. As a result, the general public will have a greater understanding of the importance of getting help for substance use disorders and addiction. This greater awareness also helps to reduce the stigma which is attached to addiction and to accessing treatment. As a result, more people find the courage to seek treatment for themselves or loved ones. We at the Red Door want to champion and celebrate the successes of those individuals who have found recovery and a better quality of life through our service. Over the month of September, you will hear 4 stories of the lived experience of individuals who have successfully found recovery through the Red Door Day programme. We really hope you enjoy listening to the stories. However, if anything you hear resonates with you and you want to reach out for help, then please get in touch. You will find our details online and we are on the Dublin Road in Drogheda. Please realise that you are not alone.
I'll start off by telling you how I came to the Red Door. I was lost in my own addiction, for want of a better phrase, just completely lost. I spent about 3 days before I came here just sitting on the floor crying and I wanted to take my own life. I started to sort out everything with the kids, started to plan out on what they were going to do without me, and I was driving down the road and I double parked outside the Red Door, knocked the door and came in and said, "If you don't help me today, I'm not going to be here tomorrow." That was the start. Which it took a lot of guts to knock the door, because I wasn't open with my family, my friends about my addiction. It was completely hidden from everyone. So to bring it out in the open and knock the door was a massive step for me. And that's where I met Joanne. Joanne started counselling me once a week, every evening. And I started off doing that to try and get myself ready and prepared to come on the CE scheme. I'd done that for 6 months, and I started the scheme here. The day after I started the scheme, I started on my education journey, which I had huge support from here. Every step of the way, from assignments to my goals, everything they stood beside me. I learned again, before I get into that, I learned to be sociable again, because I think for the first few years before that I would have been very isolated. I kind of came away from my family, friends, everything, and just hid my own addiction. So when I started doing group work here, I started meeting like-minded people. I started meeting people that accepted me for me, because I've always kind of thought I was a little bit weird and out there and a bit eccentric. I pray for angels and I do Reiki and I'm very spiritual in that way, but they accepted me wholeheartedly here. And it was the very, very first time I felt I fit in, was here. It's a huge journey. I think there's been a few times I've walked out. I think it was twice or three times saying I can't do it. Just even going back over old ground of trauma that I just completely blocked out with addiction, completely blocked out. I started seeing a psychotherapist, doing groups, started working with Joanne, she was my key worker, and it was intensive. It was extremely. But on the side then I had my goals, as I said there, and I started doing my level 5 addiction studies. I went on and done my level 6 and then I went on and done my level 7. And everything that was over the 3 years, and every single year I felt supported. I've never felt that before. I've never had that before. A family or friends, I've never had that of someone standing beside me saying you can do it, and the belief. I think that's the main, people believed in me here. I've done a lot, I've done drama, which I thought I'd never, for love nor money, do. And I only told someone yesterday about doing the drama. What it taught me was to keep my head up high. I remember doing classes because I would have always had my head down, I had no confidence, no nothing. That drama class taught me to put my head up and walk with confidence. Something as simple as that. Every element was brilliant. I learned how to do art and craft, horticulture, carpentry. I was among all the men mostly. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I think I've learned so much. I've learned so much about myself in this building, and I can never, ever, ever thank them enough. To come back full circle, after 3 years I left here and I started working in the Women's Refuge as a support worker. That has taught me huge insight into the relationships that I was in. I left my relationship of 18 years. I left my home, my animals, my business, everything, and started fresh with my kids on my own. Again, the Red Door stood beside me every step of the way, especially Joanne, every step of the way. I'm now in my own home. So I started in the refuge, learned to work with women. I felt in my own relationship I was able to give them an insight to some of the stuff that I was experiencing and I would have experienced as a child. I think it was a process of healing, working there. I've moved from there and I started working in Dublin Simon in Dundalk. I'm a support worker down there and I work in the homeless sector. And for the first time ever, I'm good at my job. I don't have imposter syndrome. I don't have walking in going, what am I doing, or feeling out of place. I feel valued. For the very first time in my life, I really do. I come back here in the Red Door. I done it a couple of months ago and I done a talk with the participants here, which was nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking coming back into the building. And remembering what I was like sitting there listening to other people doing talks. So to give back, that was huge. It was just huge. And I actually felt confident. I wasn't scared. I wasn't anxious or anything. I just started to talk and it was really, really good. I found it really helpful. Fast forward then last November, I got a contact off Louise here and asking me to go for an interview for Seek and Safety, which is a new pilot program with the HSC and it's for women in addiction and PTSD. And I'm now a peer work support worker for them, which I absolutely love. I'm going through the program with them, with the ladies. To be part of that community with them is vital for the community, Everton. I think I've always known that I'd do something with women. I just didn't know what. Because like them, I would have been isolated at home. I had no friends, I had no family. I just had my addiction. My addiction was my friend. Just to talk to these women, to actually pass on my experience and what I've been through, my life experience, it's just brilliant. And I skip into it every single Wednesday. I just skip into work, I really do. I'm very blessed in the opportunities that I've been given, and I know I wouldn't have been given these opportunities without being drug free, without working on myself, learning my values, learning everything, and to see that coming down. I think the biggest thing someone asked me, what is the biggest effect, is definitely my children. The four of us together, 3 children, and the 4 of us together in our apartment is, I just can't put words on it. to teach them the value, teach them everything, to be open, honest. I bring everything home, my group work, seeking safety, everything there to teach them. And I'd always say the Red Door is my family. They'd always know that. Always know that Red Door is my little family of, just can't explain. I actually get emotional when I think of the support. And I always tell people that come in here, it's hard. Jesus Christ, it pulls you inside out. But by Jesus it works. By Jesus it works. And I'll forever be thankful for them. So my recovery journey it's been up and down. Definitely up and down. Is it finished? By no means. Definitely no means. But it has taught me so much. It's taught me so much of myself and to believe in myself. Yeah, I'm still doing my Wakey. I still do on my spiritual journey. I still do my sea swimming, which sorry, not sea swimming, it's sea paddling because I can't swim. So yeah, I just look at my life now and it's just peaceful. The relationships that I have in it is the relationship that I've chosen to have in my life. I don't let toxic people into my life, and I would say now my friends and my family, I'm so happy. Just so happy to be here, because I know if I didn't knock that door that day, I wouldn't. I genuinely wasn't. I wasn't even upset or anything. I just planned everything down to the last. I didn't want to be here anymore. So to pass that knowledge, I always believed the benefit of a role model of passing that knowledge on to somebody else, and they would pass that on to somebody else, and it goes like a ripple effect. You can't put a price on that, because I knew someone sitting in front of me. I remember Joanne sitting in front of me saying, I remember being in pain sitting in front of her in the couch and going, when is this going to stop? When is this pain going to leave me? When am I going to come to terms with what happened? And I've come to terms with it. Yeah, I feel at peace with it. I don't get triggered as much as I used to. I don't isolate myself anymore when I feel that kind of pain, if I'm after watching something with abuse or anything like that. So yeah, I finally feel like I've just become my own, and yeah, it's a good place to be. I think it's seen, especially if you're a mother, I think asking for help can be a sign of weakness. That's how I would have felt, just speaking from my own personal. Asking for help, I didn't want anyone to see that I was weak or I was failing or I wasn't a good mother or any of that. The fact of even coming in here asking for help was huge, because I felt vulnerable, which is something that I'm not comfortable with. Definitely not comfortable being vulnerable, because again I would have seen it as a sign of weakness. But coming in here, and it was Paddy that was here, and asking for that help just changed the whole course of my life. And that's what we teach in Seeking Safety. It's one of the modules of asking for help. And being able to say this to the women and why, what I asked for. Even something like child minding or something, saying, do you know what, today I'm just not able today. Would you be able to correct the kids? Or it could be financial, have you a tenner, it could be anything. Or do you know what, I just need someone to sit there and listen to me. Even to something like that. And be able to trust someone. I find it's a massive issue. So it's really, really good seeing the women, because we kind of set little tasks of going off and asking for help. And it's worked, and it gets easier. Once you start doing it, it just gets easier and easier, and thinking it's not a sign of failure. It's really, really not putting your hands in the air and saying, do you know what, I can't do this on my own. It's complete honesty when we walk in that room, complete honesty. I said that value of having a women's community. It's just, I'm getting even goosebumps even talking about it. The empowerment in the room is second to none. And it's all about the here and now. It's not about the past, it's the here and now. What can I do? What can I do now? Because a lot of people don't live in the present moment. They really, really don't. We're not talking about negativity. We're not talking about any of that. We actually don't even go into trauma at all. We don't touch off at all. What can I do from here on in? And I think for the first few weeks, the ladies in the group was like, it's new. It's, but can I not tell you what happened? No, we keep from here and now. And it's working. It's so inspiring and so grateful I'm part of it. You have no idea how grateful I am to be part of that, to be part of these ladies' lives, to trust me. Fingers crossed, the goal would be to bring this across schools and teach younger girls about boundaries, about definitely boundaries, asking for help. I think is huge. To teach these to stand on their own and to be able to stand with women and lift each other up. So I'm excited to see where it's going. I'm really excited to see where it goes. There's plenty of resources compared to years ago. There is plenty of resources, and especially I think COVID has opened. I know COVID was a negative thing. I actually think it's a very positive thing in a lot of the resources here in Ireland itself. There's a lot of group meetings online, AA, NA, there's CA, Cocaine Anonymous. There's everything online. It's completely anonymous. You can keep your camera on, keep it off. You don't have to. Just to get, I think being around like-minded people is the key. I think it's to be able to say there's nothing wrong with you. To be able to turn around and say what happened to you as a child, whether it's trauma, abuse, abusive relationship, whatever brought you to your addiction, because there's always kind of a story behind it. There always is. To meet people that sit in front of you saying, I know how you feel, I know exactly how you feel, it's what brought me forward, and saying, I'm not on my own, I'm not going mad. I have a friend, I have someone in front of me to be able to say, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. So there's loads of resources, as I said, online, every hour, on the hour. America does it across the board. You don't have to put your camera on. Talking to a doctor, a GP, if you feel that trust. I know it can be a little bit daunting going in. There's plenty of women's groups. There's women's groups all around the country. There's actually women's groups for family of people in addiction, codependency. There's loads of groups there, all access online. Everyone now has a tablet or a phone and online, all of that online. Just reach out to somebody. Just reach out to somebody. And reach out to a safe person. That's what I always say. Just reach out to a safe person rather than reaching out to someone that's not, that doesn't want the best for you or might be unsafe and guide you in the wrong way. Just meet someone that's safe and just tell them exactly where you are at the moment, and that's it. And even if you're not ready, because a lot of people in active addictions not ready to give up that drug of choice, whatever it may be, it's not ready. That's fine. That's your own choice. But then the service can help you with harm reduction and reducing the harm to yourself. Even that element, something, just reach out, completely reach out. Because I remember knocking the door. I remember knocking that door and just thinking, I need this. I don't know what guided me there. I can't explain it. I just double parked outside and went in. Changed everything. I never got, to me, someone that never judged me. I never ever got judged here or looked down, or I never felt if I admit exactly what's going on that my kids would be taken away or something happened. It didn't. I felt completely safe. And that, I think, if anything, go to a safe person that's going to guide you in the right way, or even just listen to you. Sometimes people think you need something fixed. You don't. Just sit and listen to someone. That's it. Yeah.